You've heard it said that the journey is more important than the arrival at the destination or the destination itself. Well, I'm sometimes skeptical, always skeptical of aphorisms like this. It rings true so frequently, however. This past Sunday, I went out, as I always do here on Paros, to go to the local church. And I was prevented from going. I would like to say that there were so many worshipers parked near the church that I was unable to get in, but the reality was there were so many tourists parked in the hotels around and about the church who had yet to wake up from the previous night's revelries that there were absolutely no parking spaces within a 20-minute walk of the church. This hasn't happened to me in 20 years. I was unable to get near enough to the church to get there in time to be there for a substantive part of the liturgy. And so I didn't go. Now, the Western Christian in me has a problem with not attending Mass on Sunday. The 1 month a year Easterner in me continued on the journey. And so I went to a monastery that I'd yet to visit. It bears a sign, men only, proper dress required, no shorts. I had long trousers on, and I'm a man. And so I ascended the hill and thought, this is wonderful. And I took my Kaboskini and I was praying my Jesus prayer, Kyrie Jesu Christi, huius tu theou, eleison me ton hamartalon, the prayer of the monks, as I went up the mountain. And as I did, I arrived and there was a sign, sorry, no visitors today, we're out. It's the festival of the prophet Elias. We're all up on the summit of the island. Come back tomorrow. Sometimes the journey is where we find that peace and the reward itself. Today, in our lesson from 2 Samuel, we have David in exile. And one of the people he encounters remembers the horrible, bloody days of Saul and blames Saul's successor, David, for them and heaps abuse upon him. And one of David's men says, understandably, let's kill this guy. David says, behold my son which cometh forth out of my bowels. He's referring to Absalom, the reason he's in exile. Seekers and seeketh for my life. How much more now may this guy? It may be, continues David, that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for this guy, his, cursing this day. In other words, it might be that good will come out of this abuse I'm receiving. Today is the feast of St. James. One of the first four called in Matthew's calling of the first four, it's Andrew, Peter, then James and John in the same chapter. James and John, the sons of Zebedee, and, by tradition, Salome, mother of James and John, sister of the Blessed Virgin, therefore cousin of Jesus Christ. In the gospel reading today, their mother comes to Jesus and says, "What I want my sons to be at your left hand and at your right hand." And Jesus says, "You don't know what you ask, Auntie." And he turns to the boys and says, "Can you drink of the cup that I drink?" And the answer was, of course, no, they can't. And yet, later in the journey, of course, they did. James was the first of the apostles to die from martyrdom. They all did. They all drank of that cup in their own way and in their own day. James then went on to Spain before his martyrdom, converted people there, became the patron saint of that country. After his martyrdom, his remains were translated on this day, the 25th of July, to Compostela, where they continued to this day as the destination for thousands and thousands of journeys begun throughout the continent of Europe, whose destination is Compostela, the Camino, the way, the holy way to Compostela. And each pilgrim has a reason for taking the journey. And each pilgrim finds, even if he walks alone, that he is not alone. Because the journey is the journey of faith. The journey is the journey toward that which we were created to be, that in whom we live and move and have our being. We also commemorate this day St. Christopher, of whom very little is known, 3rd century martyr for the faith, who, for his passion for Jesus Christ, as he was working as a porter at a river, helping people to get across a ford, had a vision that he himself was carrying the child Jesus across the river, that he was carrying Christ to safety on the other side. And so he's become the patron saint of those in peril, those on journeys. May we understand that even in the midst of those who are abusing us, those who are even intentionally trying to stop us from doing what we feel called to do, God, as David suggested he might be, is looking on our affliction and will requite us good for the cursing we receive this day. May St. Christopher, through his invocation, enable us to be Christ bearers. May we, through our daily interaction with others, find Christ in them and carry them with us along our journeys each day. And may we, when we feel the frustration of not reaching our intended destination soon enough, realize that it is to the journey that we are called. Our destination is heaven, and on earth we are called to a faithful taking of the Camino. May this day be a blessing to you, and may indeed you be a blessing to others this day.